Positive Squad.
Put the needle on the record when the drum beats go like this.
I know you gonna dig this.
So, it's been a while since I've done this. I know. Insert generic excuse for no videos here. Don't worry, not bothering with that. You're here for a video, and I'm here to deliver.
DJ Smokey 666, bitch.
Ready, set, and begin.
Hit it, maestro.
Smoked out Positive
Kids
Squad.
Safety with George Blessure is a puppet show style TV show. It's meant to be like those 80s style survival guide shows for kids with celebrity cameos like Gary Coleman.
Look, Lindsay, no teeth. Bye-bye, Jack.
Speaking of Gary Coleman, this game reminds me of For Safety's Sake. A celebrity makes an appearance to tell kids how to be safe in the world, along with some silly antics.
He might be a doctor, or a lawyer, or he could be someone you wouldn't want to meet on a dark night.
Gary Coleman was an interesting figure to center around kids' safety, considering he lived a rough life of continuous health problems and public outbursts in his later years. George Blessure is supposed to be a friendly cop figure who just wants to teach all the chillins about recycling, sunscreen, and gun safety?
Have you ever seen a gun? Maybe one of your friends has one in school? Do you know how to handle it?
Oh dear, dearie me. So yeah, this is the twist of the game, that George Blessure might not be the most stable person to teach children the wonders of safety. I admit this was a nice twist, and I only sort of saw it coming. I sort of saw it coming because this is a BMC game, and a lot of his games aren't this innocent. This game was also made with YouTuber Nate Is Lame. Holy shit, 250,000 subs? I didn't know Elaine had access to such big talent. While I like this effort a lot, I do have some valid issues here. First of all, this game is shockingly short. I played every cutscene in the game, and the total playtime was barely over 15 minutes. I mean, I'm a quality over quantity kind of guy, but 15 minutes just gives you nothing to work with. Most AAA games take that long just to start in the first place. It's kind of tough formulating an opinion on something that goes by in a flash. Second of all, due to the short length, it kind of gives the twist away all at once. It would have been a lot more effective if the twist had some more subtle build-up to it, rather than it just happening out of left field. Apparently, George Blessure is an infamous pedophile. We only have the game's word for that, however. It isn't even hinted at until the end of the game.
The federal police caught infamous pedophile George Blessure, dressed as a cop, talking to a kid. Thankfully, the kid wasn't harmed during the intervention and should not be too traumatized.
Lastly, some of the jokes here are very, I'm not gonna say not funny, it's more like very strange. There's one scene where he hands you a bag of weed out of nowhere.
Look. Take this bag of weed.
Don't mind if I do. I kind of find it funny because it just comes out of left field and is wildly inappropriate for children. And then there's, a 9/11 joke.
What? Are you insane? Plane don't crash. They're really fucking safe. Wait. Is that the tower? Oh no, we're gonna crash! Ah! Ah! Ah!
To be fair, this one is a bit more subtle than Elaine has been involving 9/11 jokes. Oh, but I noticed, Elaine. Don't you think I didn't notice? Probably the least funny one was when George gives the child a gun without the safety on, so that the kid shoots himself.
See? It's not that dangerous. Dear God! Are you alright? Let me call backup!
He survives, but is most likely crippled for the rest of his life and might develop an unhealthy addiction to pain medication. What part of this is supposed to be funny again? I think this is one of the things that I dislike about Elaine's sense of humor.
Sadly, both of your parents didn't care enough about you to come visit you at the hospital. I guess that's a proof that you were an accident. Haha.
I think he relies too much on shock value and mean-spirited humor. Kind of reminds me of what modern-day Adam Sandler movies are like. Nothing but fat jokes, gay jokes, and overall mean-spirited, lowest common denominator humor that is way too prolific in the comedy genre. Shock humor has its place, but it's not a card that should be played often. So, now that that's done, let's talk about a game I had almost the opposite opinion about. Timmy's Cooking Show.
We're now going to progress to some steps which are a bit more difficult. Ready, set, and begin.
Hit it, maestro!
I was born in Canada.
Timmy's Cooking Show is a spin-off from the game Unsubscribed, where Timmy, the demon child, killed people who did not subscribe to his YouTube channel. While George Blessure was only a mere 15 minutes long, this game is nearly 2 hours! I'll admit it straight up, I didn't finish this game all the way. And sure, you could say my review is not entirely valid, but here, let me show you a clip from this game.
Oh, the thing is boiling. I mean, do we need to remove this? Already smelling good. Alright, so let's just perfect. It's going well so far. It's smelling delicious in here. Ah, fuck. Okay. It's alright. Do not worry. Everything is going fine.
So, now that you've watched that, listen to this. It keeps going like this.
I forgot the cake mix. I gotta tell. Alright.
It keeps going.
It smells really good, honestly, so I'm excited for this. Let's go watch the soup while yeah.
And going. And going.
And why not add some of this? Those are like chocolate Mentos thingy.
And going for 2 hours. I admit, this game starts out fine. I like that he starts by getting drunk. That's pretty funny and sets you up for some silly antics. But it quickly becomes apparent that Timmy doesn't quite have the charisma to pull this off. Again, I'm well aware it's supposed to be bad, but his lack of charisma really makes it a lot less funny. He's kind of stammering, stepping over his own words, and it's quite obvious he's making it up on the spot. The fact that it's very sparsely edited doesn't help at all. It really brings the awkwardness front and center. There are a few positives to this game. Elaine really does try to be a legitimate cooking show host, and it's funny when he pretends to know what he's doing and he blatantly doesn't. I like the chef Halloween costume in the background, and the stock Beethoven soundtracks are a nice touch. Also, this abomination on humanity. Trump. I find Timmy's Cooking Show hard to critique as well because of its engorging length. Kind of ironic since the previous game has the opposite problem. The main issue that is apparent throughout the entire video is that Elaine doesn't quite have the on-camera charisma to pull off a concept like this. It was a fun idea, and I'm glad that Elaine is really trying to innovate his craft. This is why I continue to talk about him. It's because through it all, I could see he truly cares about making something good. He's improved a lot over the years, but Sadly, Steam has kind of been screwing him lately. More than Steam usually screws with everyone, that is. Only now has Steam decided that Steam Direct was the worst thing to happen to the storefront since Greenlight. So in typical Valve fashion, instead of fixing the problem, they put a bullet wound-sized band-aid over it. Steam's new game recommending algorithm has been put in place to stop the flood of non-games, as they put it. Unfortunately, Elaine, amongst many other indie devs, have been fucked pretty bad financially. It's not even viable for most indies to sell games on Steam anymore due to the massive flood of dogshit asset flips, as well as getting screwed over by the algorithm because their game has no reviews and therefore couldn't easily distinguish from shit piles like Fidget Spinner Simulator and Gabe Newell Simulator. I'm not fucking with you, those actually exist. I mean, fuck me with a diamond-plated saw blade. What's next? Simulation Simulator? Piss in a bucket while saying fuck Bill Clinton Simulator? Shitty Steam asset flipping shit stain simulator? Sorry, rant over. Anyway, I don't want to see Elaine get muscled out. No matter your opinion, I will go to the end of the earth to argue that he deserves to be here. So in response, I donated to him on Patreon. I donated a lot. A frightening amount. Well, in my defense, since Samir doesn't have a Patreon anymore, I donated that money to him. That's how much I believe in this man. Love him or hate him, he deserves to be here. Case closed.